Here's something short and sweet. Now, you don't want Mexicans using the N-word. It's just this simple. Stop calling other races the N-word, because that doesn't give you a pass. That you want to say the N-word, say it only to black people, not to other races, because it doesn't give you a pass to say it to other races. Say it amongst yourselves and keep it amongst yourselves if you want to get all hurt about it. Another thing, you don't have a problem with all these Mexicans that have bought your albums, because more Mexicans have made you more rich and famous than your own race. First of all, poetry was created by white people, and white people recited poetry to music, to their classical music. And now you want to call it rap, and then you want to turn around and say that the Mexicans are stealing your rap culture? They're not stealing your rap culture. They're just taking from the white man too. They're taking a white man's culture too. Now, you want to talk about stealing cultures? Stealing from cultures? Grills. Grills were created by Aztecs and Mayans. See, and then African Americans feel like they're the only ones that were enslaved, when African people were enslaved before African Americans on the way to America. Years before, they were already taking Africans to the closest places before America, and they were already suffering slavery years before African Americans. I'm not even going to talk about the black side of my family, but no matter what. So don't feel that African Americans were the only slaves. Now, you also feel that you don't call black Latinos black. You're talking about only African Americans because you're a racist. If you don't want other nationalities to say the N-word, don't say it to them, because it doesn't give you a pass to say it to other races. Say it amongst yourselves. If you don't want, and don't sell any albums or tickets to Mexicans. Have somebody calling, have people answer and say, "Are you Mexican? I can't sell you a ticket," and see how much money you're going to make off the N-word then. Now, like I said, you want to talk about stealing from cultures? You stole rap from the white people. I keep getting my stuff dubbed out, and then this little circle that keeps going down there, it has some girl on it instead of the J that's on my thing, on the rest of my videos. So yeah, stop stealing grills from Mexicans. They're not stealing rap from you, because Mexicans, OT's biggest fan base are Mexicans, not blacks. But he claims to be from a black gang. And then he voted for Donald Trump, so you could have him. You feel some type of way because of what Mexican OT doesn't represent the Mexicans. He voted for Donald Trump. You know? He's only living off the Mexicans because he had them fooled, like a lot of you black dudes who also voted for Donald Trump. Now, what I think is kind of stupid is that you see Mexicans turning on Mexicans to close Mexican-owned businesses because they voted for Donald Trump. Now, here's a message for the Mexicans. Ask the black people when you go into their businesses if they voted for Donald Trump. Ask the white owners. See, you'll go and support white, black, Asian, all these other races. You'll go support their businesses, and they voted for Donald Trump. If they're white, yeah, you can rest assured. You'll go support their businesses, but you won't go support a Mexican that voted for Donald Trump, but you'll go support a white man, a black man, a Chinese, and every other person that voted for Donald Trump. That's what they want. That's what these white, black, Asian, and all these businesses want, is to shut down the Mexican businesses. They don't care if they keep working. They just don't want Mexican businesses. because they're thriving. They're doing good. And these white, black businesses are not. You know? Now, like I said, you're mad because Mexicans are making Mexicans rich and famous, especially in the rap industry. Now, you guys didn't have a problem with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, all these snitches. Then you only had a problem with Tekashi 6ix9ine. But why? Because he was Mexican, and he was on the top of the world in what you call your culture, rap culture. And those are the facts. Why did you have a problem with Ryan Garcia? Because you thought, because just like how all you black people voted for Barack Obama, knowing that he was going to deport Mexicans, who deported more Mexicans than anybody else, you were going to vote for him only because he was black and no other reason. And it didn't really work on your behalf. It backfired because you were trying to get rid of the Mexicans also with Barack Obama. So now you see that Mexicans, even from Mexico, have come all the way to America and made a lot more money in the rap industry than a lot of you, because Mexicans got that money. Why? Because they got those jobs that you cry about, that you won't do. So they have money to go spend on another Mexican and make that Mexican rich. That's your problem. Your problem is that you can say the N-word all you want on your songs and it's not making you no money. A Mexican says the N-word, he's going to make money. Because Mexicans are going to go in here and they're going to say, what? And even the little kids, they've all, okay, I'm pretty sure Mexican OT, he's a kid, what, 23, 24, 25 years old? So what he grew up hearing? He was born when cell phones were already the way they are now, with screens, touch screens and everything. You know what I mean? To where all he heard on his music was in this, in that, in this, and that. Just like everybody else. They grew up saying it, so they didn't just sneak it in and look around to see if anybody was going to approve of it. So you don't want, your problem is that you're not saying that Mexican OT is saying the N-word. You're pretty much saying they're stealing our rap culture. Why don't you just come out and say it? Because that's the truth. Those are the facts. You know? But something you are stealing from the Mexicans is grills. So this Johnny Dang guy is also stealing from the Mexican culture and putting grills in black people's mouths. Now, when the Mexicans get a grill from Johnny Dang, they're supposed to have grills. That's culture. That's heritage. That didn't come from black culture. That didn't come from black rappers. That came from the Mexican cultures, the Aztec and the Mayans. But you rap in English. Just fast poetry, using instrumentals of instruments created by white people. Because you don't play any instruments. You don't play any instruments. You just steal all the sounds of these instruments and call it yourself, call it your own when you make beats off of something that somebody else created. You don't have the pass to say the N-word to anybody that's not black. You can only say it to blacks. You don't have the pass to call me the N-word. You don't have a pass to call anybody else the N-word. Because it's only for you, not for anybody else, right? So don't say it to anybody else. Stay tuned for more information.